right, guys, UFC 301 goes down this weekend from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The fights are going to be fantastic. So once again, your boy is partnering up with the DraftKings Sportsbook to give all new customers a fantastic offer. Bet only $5 or more signing up using my promo code DCTV. You'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Look, Pantoja versus Steve Erceg is going to be a great fight. Jose Aldo returns in his hometown to take on Jonathan Martinez. So bet only $5 or more and get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use my promo code DCTV. And for a chance at even bigger payouts, use same fight parlays. Tell us how the fight's going to end, what round, by method, and combine multiple bets for a chance at even bigger payouts at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, I'm going to Brazil for the fight, but Charles Oliveira, remember, you said you haven't faced water with me, so I'm showing up at your crib. Guys, at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Let's go, DCTV.
Daniel Cormier!
How you gonna block me, man?
You're not blocked, I swear.
What's up, my guy?
What's up, man?
Are you a fight week?
Yeah, that's why.
This is the first time we did an interview.
Never, I know.
I'm excited about it.
That's why I didn't know we were doing one. I didn't know I was important enough.
Come on, man, Anthony. I've been trying to get you. Your people make it hard to track you down.
No way. I ain't got no people.
You're a liar.
I'm people.
You're a fucking liar, dog. This dude is lying. Don't let this dude trick you. You one of the mugs that kind of like unassuming, right? And then next thing you know, like your daughter's married to you. Guys, I'm checking in with the boy Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith fights Vitor Petrino this weekend at UFC 301. My guy, thank you for checking in with me.
Yeah.
How you doing out here in Brazil? When did you get here?
This morning.
Oh, so you just traveled in?
I just got here.
No acclimation, no need.
No, man, that's made up shit.
You think so?
Yeah,
that is not true.
That's made up.
Maybe here because it's not at sea, like below sea level or above sea level. But I saw Cain Velasquez get tired against Fabricio Verdun.
Yeah, but that's altitude. There's no altitude here.
There's no.
And I train at altitude.
Yes. So yeah, I guess you're fine.
Yeah, and I got 55 fights. I've spent over a year of my life in fight week.
Yeah.
So I'm just chilling.
And you still love this shit.
I love the fight for sure. I
love the camp.
Not all the time. This one I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun this training camp. I think as my mindset changed a little bit after the Khalil fight. So I had a lot of fun this training camp.
You know, going back to that fight, when the fight ends like that, like what is? Because I've been knocked out, right? I've been knocked out once, and you go home, and I think the first thought is embarrassment a little bit.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get over that? Because for me, it took a while. I was gone for 7 months.
It's still there. It's
really?
Still, yeah, it's embarrassing. I've never had that happen to me, ever. And I'm just mad at myself for the decision making. You know, like I just can't say no. I don't know why. I didn't train one time from the.
Really?
Yeah, because when I fought Ryan Spann in August.
Yep.
I told everyone after that, like, I'm taking a break. I need a break. I need to hang with my kids. I just need to be a dad and just chill. And then this fight pops up. I hadn't trained one time from there to there. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
How long before you got the fight?
Like 10 days.
Gee, so then you're just like rushing.
It's just weight cut. Yeah,
Cutting the weight off.
Yeah, most of it was weight cut.
You can be a big boy.
Yeah, I was 235, 237, something like that when I stepped on the scale when they called.
So there must be a massive difference in that and in the feeling you have this week actually having the ability to train.
Yeah, I feel really good. And so that's why I wasn't willing to make any kind of decisions on my career following the Khalil fight, because I knew I wasn't ready for the Khalil fight. Could I clip him and maybe get a takedown and dominate the grappling? Maybe. But I knew what the positive side of that was if I was able to get a win like that. I just slid right into a title shot, maybe right after Jamal and whatever they worked out their deal. But now I'm back a little bit now. So
you, when we lose in that way, especially people that have been at the top of the game for a long time, it gives the kids a little bit of pep in their step. They start calling your name.
Yeah.
And this dude called your name a little bit. This dude called you out.
Yeah.
You think this dude called you out because he saw that and was like, wait a minute, I can do this. I can beat him.
100%.
Swear to God. You think that's
the only reason. That's the only reason. You think that kid would call me out after I beat Gus? Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance.
Or even the fight against Ryan Spann. Maybe.
Right. Not a chance. Not a chance. So, like Bogdan did it right before then too. Like, not for nothing, Ryan Spann was walking him down.
Bogdan, your little brother?
Yeah, my twin.
That's why your little brother fight last week. Your little brother fight last week. I was like, damn, dog.
And that kid's tough, but he struggled with Ryan Spann pretty bad there for a minute, and Ryan Spann does what Ryan Spann does and kind of goes away a little bit. Yeah. But he's got all the talent in the world, and I walked right through that dude the first time. So I don't think that I think that they look at me as a broken, wounded lion, and that's not the case. That's not the case.
But it lit a fire under you, didn't it? Mm-hmm. When that kid called your name, I want to fight Anthony Smith.
He wasn't in the locker room yet. I told Mick Maynard if he's ranked on Tuesday, I'll go to Brazil.
Really?
100%. And now he ain't ranked because Bogdan got in the rankings and kicked him out.
If he's ranked, I'll go to Brazil.
If he's ranked on Tuesday, I'll fight him in Brazil.
Is he good? Is he as good as people are making him out to be when you break him down? Because you're a guy that does this job like me, right? So when you're breaking him down, I get it. When we're fighting someone, we tend to look for their weaknesses opposed to respecting what they actually can do. Is he as good as people have made this kid out to be?
He is good. He's not as good. I guess pulling the curtain back a little bit, like I worked in the event that he last fought on, so I broke all of his fights down and broke his game down, not even imagining that I was going to fight him anytime soon.
That's the best, though.
That is.
That's the best
because I didn't put myself into
the right way. You're not saying, "Oh, he's bad at this. He's bad at this."
Right. So when I broke him down, our job is to promote all these guys and promote these events and build them up and essentially make them out to be killers. And sometimes when you're watching the tape, you don't see the killer. So you got to find it. Like, you got to dig deep. He was the guy who had an incredible skill set. He's crazy explosive, but I didn't see a lot of depth to his game. I seen a guy who's doing exactly what he should do to the people that he's fighting. Like,
there's a different level when you get to the top.
When you're big and explosive and powerful, you can get guys at the bottom to kind of retract a little bit. They don't like the aggressiveness and like the physicality of it. Guys at the top don't give a shit. You gotta have more depth to your game than that. Like, what happens when you're big and explosive and I'm still walking forward? Like, we haven't seen anybody do that to him yet. I like Tyson Pedro as a person. He fought like a scared little bitch in there the whole time. Like, he didn't engage. He was circling, and I get it. The power, if you're not used to seeing it all the time, it's different. Especially like a shorter, stockier guy like that. It's different, and like the speed change is different when he really goes. But I've seen that a billion times, and so I think he is good. I think he's going to be around a long time. I don't think he's as good as he's being made out to be.
But not today. You don't think? Well, the kid, like you said, very explosive. He's really walked through dudes, and but I think every fight has been a massive favorite. Right. When you're a favorite, you're supposed to go get the job done. And if you have that belief of the undefeated fighter, that's
he has no reason. He has no reason to not believe it. Like, no one's given him the reason to doubt anything that he does. And that's my job, is to go out there and really take it from him right away and make him know immediately, like, this is different than anybody else you've ever fought.
You know, when I remember there was a time that we struggled a little bit, and I started thinking to myself, as we're talking about retirement, because that's what we do right from the outside. The guys that are talking about retirement, I'm like, man, I didn't say it straight out because I didn't know if I believed it or not. Like, it felt like the fight wasn't as strong with you, and then all of a sudden it was just back. What changed? Like, or maybe it just never was gone, but to our eyes on the outside, it seemed like he doesn't necessarily want to do this as much as he used to, because Anthony Smith looks different to me than he did when he was on his run. But then all of a sudden, even when you were having tough fights and tough moments, you kept fighting, and it seemed like all that fight that defined you before was back. So what changed?
And I think you'll understand this. Like, when you get to a spot when you're doing so many other things, like, fighting opens up a door for some people. And other people, they fight, and then they're done fighting, and then if they didn't make enough money or get enough opportunities, then they have to go get regular jobs and do regular stuff, right? So for some of us, it opens up other doors, and then so you find yourself doing all these other things. And I think that I think I got spread too thin a little bit. And then personally, like, my marriage is fine, my kids are good, but like, personally inside, I think that I juggle so much and I wear so many different hats and I got a lot on my shoulders that I think it just becomes so exhausting. Like I was so tired, like not of fighting. I was just so tired emotionally and mentally, and I just wasn't managing I've been really outspoken about my mental health. Not that I'm a crazy person or anything, but I grew up with a lot of trauma. I got a lot of bullshit going on. Some of it was around the time my mom died.
I remember us, our conversations.
Yeah, I was a mess, but like fighting was the one thing I could control. So when I shouldn't have been fighting, it was all I wanted to do was just dive in there. And then when I got in there, I just wasn't the same person.
Yeah.
And then as I started to manage that stuff and just deal with the BS in my own head, and then people start talking about retirement, and I just couldn't imagine. Like, I'm not ready to retire. Like, I still really love this game. Sometimes I hate the bullshit around it, but I love the fighting, I love the training, I love the camaraderie, and I don't know what to do without it. So, and I'm still competitive. I'm still in there with the young guys in the gym and still fighting it out and getting the better of those rounds more times than not. So, I think that I just had to get my own head right before I could get back.
Lionheart.
Yeah, before I could be that person again.
Yeah. It seemed weird, and I know that's a hard conversation when people around you start talking about retirement, especially if it's not in your heart, because the only way you can walk away is when it's in your heart to walk away. Like Jose Aldo's back this weekend, right?
It's crazy.
It seemed like it was in his heart to walk away.
It seemed right.
It seemed right, and it also seemed, honestly, I told him this too earlier, at your Hall of Fame speech, it felt like you were complete and you were done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I kind of got scared. I wanted to ask him this question, but I didn't do it, bro.
What do you want to ask him?
Bro, I wanted to ask him like I fucking bust out. I'm so mad about it. I wanted to ask him. So, dude, so USADA now, you don't have to sit 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing now. So he can just come back. He said he started talking in January. It's April. He's back.
Right.
You think that played a part in that? I wonder, that's what I wanted to ask him.
That's a tough question to ask.
Right? Like, it's a hard question. Like, how do you ask him? I wanted to ask him
that's a tough one.
Because he wouldn't have been able to fight if
No,
that was
he
still
wouldn't
around.
have. No, he wouldn't have.
So, I mean, God, I should have asked him on.
I think that Cowboy probably feels a little bit now too. Like now that Cowboy's out of the pool, he looks so healthy and so happy.
Well, yeah, Cowboy tell you he told me Cowboy told me he do steroids, man. He told me that.
He has to be.
He said he do that and he got some hair.
He got his hair back. He looks good.
Cowboy's the man. He's so big and strong.
He looks healthy.
But he hurt himself riding the bull the other day.
I've seen that. He tore his bicep or something.
Yeah, he hurt himself riding the bull the other day.
That's crazy.
That's the problem, right? You start doing all this stuff, you feel like Superman again. You can't really be that. But the fight's back, and when you look at the light heavyweight division too, I feel, me being a guy that was in the weight class, it's a good time to be in this division.
Yeah.
Because you're only a couple fights away from being back where you need to be, because outside of Alex, right, there's a whole bunch of people that are essentially one fight away from fighting for the championship. Do you feel that?
Yeah, but I'm also, it kind of goes into this mindset change. Do you think when you were like chasing titles and wrestling and stuff like that, like that it blinded you and became a negative?
Well, it's at times. You become so laser focused. That's why like relationships and stuff suffer for me. Nothing really was good for me outside of my competitive career because I was so intent and focused and selfish because you have to be. And the problem is, like, I think most have to be. Yeah. And if you don't want to be selfish like that, then you can keep everything around you happy.
Right.
But when you're chasing championships,
it's like one or the other.
It is the most selfish life ever.
Yeah. Well, I think it's blinded me and hurt me in getting there. Because I think like every time I'm getting ready to fight, like even now, I wouldn't typically be worried so much about Vitor Petrino. I'm like, all right, I got to beat him, and then I got to fight this guy, and then this guy's going to beat this guy, and then maybe I can fight him and I'll get in. And then if I lose, and it's like, well, even after the Khalil fight, I didn't even think about the knockout or the loss, like the actual physical loss. I immediately thought, well, fuck, how many fights is it going to take to get back now?
Yeah.
It was like the first thought. It was immediately about the title.
Because that title fight is like nothing else, right?
It's nothing else.
It's the greatest
especially when you get one and it doesn't go the way you want it to go.
Yes.
Like, and you feel like you didn't give your, like, I think if I'd have gone in and fought John and felt like that was the best version of myself, or that was the best I had, that was all I had to give,
you could have won the belt that night.
I think I could have lived with it.
You know what I know. You could have won the belt, bro. Like, you still could have.
I know, but I wouldn't be in the position I'm in, though.
You're right. Yeah, you would.
Maybe. Look at Aljo.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I love Aljo,
right,
but like the whole world don't.
My boy done made some money to hold that belt, though, because he defended it a whole bunch of times.
That's true. That's true.
But I understand. Hey, before I let you go, you said something about Alex Pereira a couple weeks ago about his.
I said the same shit you said.
But I know.
I said the same shit you said.
But it was not an insult, but it was like kind of an insult, or it was spun.
It was spun for sure.
What did you mean?
Which part?
Just the whole thing was like, well, he's got one thing.
He does.
It's the best thing in the world.
It is. And that's the thing. Like, he is a fantastic striker, and he has molded that into his MMA game so beautifully. Yeah. But, like, let's not pretend like this dude is a fire grappler. He's just not. What would you do to Alex Pereira? Go ahead.
He'd beat me, bro.
Shut the fuck up.
What do you mean? No, what do you mean? Stop. I would lose to Alex Pereira. He would knock me out.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
If that camera was off, what would you actually say?
Don't stop. Don't say that. Don't do that. I would lose. No, but, like, here's the deal. Right?
And I'm not even saying... Like, when I talk about him, I'm not talking, like, people can't separate me from being an analyst and a fighter. Well, I'm analyzing his game from just X's and O's and what I see in there. I don't understand how he keeps winning. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not saying he's bad.
It just gets more and more impressive.
Exactly. And that was what I was doing. I was building him up, saying, listen, like, he's not a great wrestler. He's good enough on the fence for sure. But if he gets a guy in there that's ripping single legs and lifting and like chaining them together,
strong,
I bet he's super strong.
I grab him all the time, and he's really, really strong.
He looks like it for sure.
Yeah, he's really strong.
It's not like he's got a high level wrestling pedigree or like a high level jiu-jitsu game. Like, Jan Blachowicz is a decent grappler, and that dude took him down and took his back. Had Jan Blachowicz not been at altitude and been out there longer or acclimated to it or trained at it, what does the second and third round look like? Like, if he was able to do it fairly easily, that entire 4 minutes of the first round, like, that's not me saying I'm a fighter and I want to fight him and I'll beat him up. That's me saying, like, listen, there's holes in his game and he's still finding ways to win. That's impressive as fuck. Like, he has beat some really high level guys with a very limited skill set. Like, he's got a hole in a box that he has to stay in, and he just does a great job of staying in it.
Yeah.
I think it's impressive, and he gets offended by it, but I don't really care about it. Of course he does. I don't care about his feelings.
He never said nothing.
Of course he does.
How do you know he got offended by it?
Every media outlet he does ask him about me every time, and I don't care. Like,
I never said he never get mad at me when I
that's what I'm saying. I say the same shit you said.
It wasn't the same thing, actually.
That's close.
I just said.
You said I don't know how this guy keeps winning.
Well, because the wrestling, right? It was, but then I started thinking about something, and Ben Askren told me this, and this is true. There aren't many crazy high level wrestlers in the top 5 right now.
There's not.
Right, really so it's like the right time.
Right.
It's all timing.
Ankalaev's the only guy that wrestles like that.
And he doesn't have the pedigree. It's not like he's a world champion and like some of us were.
But like he has the style.
Yes.
He's got the style for sure.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing because it's all about timing, right? Like,
it is.
With all of us. It's a great time for Alex, and he's become a massive star. But
I just think if there was a couple more wrestlers up there, he would be challenged for sure. He would be challenged for sure. And I think, I'm a big fan, man. I really am.
I'm a huge fan.
I love watching his game. His striking, it's scary. Like, I seen him see, like what he's seen in Jamal, I watched him see it, which is so fascinating. Like, every little lead hook and, Jamal's hand would come down or he would go to throw that. Like, he adjusted to it so quickly.
He saw him picking up on, that's all that time that he's been kickboxing.
Right, it's so crazy.
But this weekend is about you and Vitor Petrino. You get to go out there and shut the kid up. Nothing feels better than that, right? That's exciting. Yeah.
It's really exciting.
What are you expecting from that arena when you hit there? You're going to die. It's
through
the arena. Have you ever fought here before?
Twice. Yeah.
You like it?
No, not really, but it's. I like Brazil. I don't necessarily like the fighting part of it. I like being here, but I got to get a win here. I've never won in Brazil. Well, it's a big deal.
Good time to start against an undefeated guy.
Hell yeah.
My man. Anthony Lionheart-Smith fight this weekend at UFC 301 against Vitor Petrino. Guys, he's the man. Tapping everything he's doing. Follow him on all of his socials. Him and Bisping are on the podcast together now very often, which is fucked up because I asked you first. And you chose Bisping to be my podcast guy.
No, you didn't.
I asked him first.
Why is he always lying?
I asked you first. Anthony, thanks for checking in with me, man. I appreciate it, guys. Until next time, like, subscribe, and tell your friend to tell a friend. DC's got a YouTube channel. I got guys like Lionheart stopping in on me. Peace.
My man.